Hello, welcome back to the channel. We've got another DIY today. You can see our beautiful wardrobes behind us. We're so chuffed with these. I'm still so proud of how we did those at the beginning of this year. But one thing I never got around to when I finished the room because I was purely exhausted was the makeup island. We're going to do a bit of a more affordable hack today and something that's not going to be too difficult if you've never really DIY'd before. We are going to be adding a countertop to this today. We're also going to be putting them on caster wheels, raising them up a little bit. First of all, so that I can move them, but also going to be adding some skirting to the bottom just to dress it up. There's no way for me to put my legs under the stool because of the way the legs are, and then my knees bash off the side, and because there's no overhang for the countertop, I'm so far away, my mirror's far away, all my makeup pieces are far away, it just feels very unnatural. Hopefully we can get a chair that has a little bit more of a boost, so I'm up a little bit higher. And I also want to make the top one that you can like move back and forth. One thing that is annoying about these drawers is that there is this gap at the back. I do wish that they were just flat backed and they could just push back together, and then I wouldn't really have to mess on too much with trying to conceal this. But I'm gonna have to try to come up with a way to conceal this, else it's just gonna be a big old gap. I'm gonna head to the shops now and go and get some MDF and stuff cut. Three slats of wood down to size, which are gonna act as a base for the caster wheels to sit on top of. I'm going to use a countersink drill bit just to drill so that I can make sure that the screw heads go flush, and then we're going to use some wood screws to screw it all down and together. If you are doing this, I would probably suggest instead of doing 3 slats across, do like a square. I'm doing it like this purely because I only bought 5 caster wheels because they didn't have any more. I went back into the shop today, they only have 5, and I'm just thinking, oh, okay, I'm just gonna go with 5. But really you should have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm just gonna put the other one in the middle. This one isn't one that rotates anyway, it is strictly forward and backwards. And that is purely due to the design where they can go any way. They kind of fling out of the shape of their bracket, and I need it to be streamlined because we're going to be putting skirting on. The wheels can't just go anyhow they want to. They need to stay in formation. The base of it is all together, but really the top of it could still separate. These drawers actually come with a way of stabilizing them to the wall. So what I did when I first built them, knowing that I was going to make this an island, I lined up these hinge bracket things so that I could secure them together. So I'm going to go and find a nut and a bolt, secure these together, and then we can get the caster wheels on and flip it over. I'm so happy! So I can move it in where I want it to go. Perfect. This is 12mm MDF. You could do it thicker if you wanted. I wouldn't recommend going thinner if you're using MDF because it will bow and break. I'm creating this so that I can slide it back and forth as well. So as well as the actual base of the unit moving, I want the tabletop to be able to slide up to this edge, and then I can push it back and out of the way and it can slide to this edge. I had to sit down and take some measurements to make sure that it was going to be a really tight, snug fit on the sides. Obviously I want to be able to move it forward and backwards, so there doesn't need to be any tightness there, but for the sides it needs to be a snug fit. Ideally I would have made this whole thing out of MDF, including the side panels that I'm going to put on. At B&Q you cannot get them cut any smaller than 15 centimetres. any panels. I had to get creative and think of a different way to do the side lips for the tabletop. So with that is this kind of wood that I'm going to be using, 15 millimeters tall, 46 mil thick, and it was 2.4 meters in length. And this is going to become the sides and the front and the back of the MDF tabletop. I'm going to try and secure it all together with wood glue and some wood screws just to make sure that it's going to hold. Just so you can see, I've used a couple of wood screws in the corners, but what I've done is I've tried to meticulously make sure that all of these edges are smooth. There's no like overhangs anywhere. I've wood glued it. If I need to go in with some sandpaper, I will. This is going to get covered in a sticky back vinyl, some DC Fix, so I don't need to do too much, but I think I will add some wood filler where I've countersunk the screws. Now we do need to concentrate on the side panels. We need to hide this gap, so let's try and do that now. And then I've also used a really thin beaded piece of wood just to edge it off a little bit. I also sanded this down earlier for when you get the MDF cut. It's got a really sharp edge to the point where it can actually like cut you. So rounding that off has made it smooth, and it means that when I put the sticky back vinyl on top, it's not going to get pierced by this. Cut everything. This is what I like to call the dry cut. Well, it is what the dry cut is, the dry fit rather. So I've got the caster wheel there, base of wood, and then we've got the actual wood for the drawers. And then this is going to come over here, and it sits just right so that where the drawer pulls out, it's not going to hit the top of the skirting. And I'm also going to lift them up because I don't want them to sit in the carpet. Because the edges of these will be quite sharp, if I do want to roll it around, I need to make sure that it's floating a little bit off the carpet. And I'm wanting to get the top of this wrapped. So, two options. Ignore all of the lines, that's just because it's been rolled up, but once it's smoothed out, they'll all disappear. But I love the warmth that this has got, whereas this is much more silvery, and I wouldn't usually go for a silver, but this is overpowering. The repeat of the design on it is just too much, whereas this is so much more sparse. I'm starting by finding the halfway point of the length. Like if you're matching two pieces together, make sure it's got almost like a natural match somewhere. I think I found that with this. For this, I'm literally using a card and some scissors. And I'm going to leave just enough overhang so that I can tuck it up and underneath and tuck it into the MDF. I also made sure that the entire tabletop was really clean. Another thing to note with this is that you can peel it up once you've stuck it down. However, if it is really stuck down, you don't want to try and peel it up too much because it can like warp the paper. It can actually stretch it out, making it much harder to get it flat smooth again. I think for the sake of how it looks, what we will do is we'll fold the front down flat first, and then we'll cut and do the sides. I'm happy with that. That is a clean edge. I'm very happy with that. Okay, now this part would actually probably be done best with a Stanley blade, to be honest, but my Stanley blade is in a garage. Look at that. Oh, she's perfect. The sheer fact that I can actually get my legs underneath. Right, let's get as close as we can. Pull that like that. Look at that. Like, that's a proper table. So I can rock it. That's as far as it rocks, just so that I'm not like dragging the tabletop because it's too stuck. It moves really slick. So Rob and I are just about to put up the dressing room light. This light is just like a single bulb and it's got a lamp shade around it. But this room is the room that I usually want to do my makeup in and get ready and stuff. So it needs to have a decent light. Look, the brass is such a nice brass as well. It's like a really muted tone. And then it's got this gorgeous, kind of looks like acacia or mango wood on the top bit and then on the underneath. So we're going to put that up now. We did have to take off a lot of the train. So I think when you buy this new, it has like a metre long drop. We have to take basically all of it because we just don't have high ceilings like that in this house. But yeah, so we're gonna get it all wired up and put it on now. We're gonna switch off the electrics from downstairs. I am so over the moon with how this looks. We obviously did the makeup island. It's so functional. I've had this now working for about a month and it has been the best thing ever. The fact that I can move it around the actual room, the fact that I can push the top out of place whenever I need to look in the mirror or take pictures or anything like that. It's been so handy. I love, love, love this chair. It is the perfect height and it is so comfortable. I need to paint the makeup island. I've had a few suggestions to go dark with this over on my Instagram. I would love to know what you guys think though. Do you feel like we should keep it light to keep the whole room bright, or should we go dark? Personally, I feel like going something a little bit darker would be nice, maybe like an inky blue, but then I'm just a little bit worried about how it might darken the entire effect of the room. But let me know what you think. The room usually gets quite dark, especially like a day like today. Let me turn the light off and show you. And it's just so gloomy. I can't do my makeup. It's not a nice experience to do anything in here when it's so dark. So to be able to have these 6 lights light up the entire room and just make it look like it's daylight in here has been a game changer. Honestly, I love this light fitting. I love the mix of the brass and wood tones as well. It's perfect, which also matches my wooden shelf and my mirror. The wooden shelf is from Argos. I'll leave it linked down below, and then the mirror is from William Woods. I'll also leave that link down below for you. And then obviously we've got the blinds, which add a nice little feature to the big window in this room, but we can bring them all the way up if we need to. But I actually like it when they kind of sit how they're sitting right now. It adds another design element to the room. And then we've got our wardrobes, which we did a couple of months ago, well, nearly a year ago now. But yeah, this is how the room is looking, how it's come together. But that's it. I hope that I covered enough stuff in that video for you. If there are any other details that you need or any other information that you need, then just drop me a comment or maybe message me over on my Instagram and I'll try and get back to you over on there. And I hope that if you do recreate this, tag me if you put it on Instagram, or if you do it on your stories or something, tag me so that I can see it, or just send me a picture of it so that I can see your recreation in your beautiful rooms as well. And I hope that you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any more, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Bye.